What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy AOJ here. So look, today I'm here to give you the pros and cons of joining the military. All right. So first off, your recruiter's only going to tell you the pros. They're going to try to tell you the cons because they're going to tell you, oh, from my job, et cetera, et cetera. They can only tell you, no matter what you ask your recruiter, no matter what you ask your recruiter, they can only tell you the answer. They can only answer your questions based on what they know, what they've seen, and what they've been around. So let me explain something to you. They can't if your recruiter's only been in Cali or the West Coast, California, Hawaii, I think Washington, whatever, all those over there. They really can't explain to you what happens in Virginia or Florida. So let me give you the pros and cons. Now, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna either get East Coast or West Coast. Don't say East Pack, West Pack. So, and in my opinion, what I've realized is that the East Coast is a lot more strict. So if you get Virginia, you have to think about geography. DC, where the Pentagon, where everyone who runs the military is located, is only about 3 hours away from Norfolk, Virginia, which is the largest naval base in the world. So, and I put that in perception. If I'm correct, Canada has 80,000, I think 70,000 people in their navy altogether. Naval Station Norfolk alone has 80,000 people. So that's just Norfolk. That's not Little Creek. That's not Oceana. That's, you know what I'm saying? So it's a very large area. So because of that, and the fact that the proximity and how close they are to DC, if they want to see what's going on in the fleet, it's nothing for them to come in and work at 9 and to be down in Virginia by 1 and be home by dinner. You feel what I'm saying? So the rules, regulation, the strictness of the military is going to be there a lot more on the East Coast, especially in Virginia. As opposed to California, they gotta fly over to California. They gotta book hotels. If y'all haven't been doing your job correctly, it gives you more leeway in how to leave. That's one. You feel me? It gives you more leeway in how to maneuver. You could be a horrible. Your division could be horrible, but because you have a week probably notice before someone comes to visit you, you can clean that up. So you know what I mean. Think about another pros and cons. BAH. So if you are now, let me say this correctly, E5 and above, I believe get BAH, which is basic allowance for housing. So they base it on the cost of living allowance in the area that you are stationed. Now, if you are married, you get BAH based on where your spouse lives. So understand this. If you live in New York and if you're from New York, your spouse lives there, your kids, whatever, and you're stationed in California, they're going to give you BAH based on that area. Now, obviously, the BAH is cool because it's made to pay for housing, bills, basic essentials. Now, obviously, depending on the area code you live in, it can be higher or lower, depending on, and also where you're stationed. And you may get more money in Virginia than you would, bumblefuck Texas. No disrespect to my Texans. But, so you may get more money living in Norfolk or California than you would there for your family. Now, when you get the BAH, a lot of people are going to hit you with take the money and go into town and find someplace cheaper, and pay all your bills and pocket some money. Yes, it can work, but let me explain something to you. If you're pocketing money from your BAH, you're probably living in the slums or whatever area you're at. I'll give you an example. I think New Jersey BAH at this point is $3,000, right? So to not live in the hood in New Jersey, at least where I'm from, Essex County, you're probably going to be spending minimum 2,000. One bedroom 1,700 is not being in the hood. You feel me? You put your lights on there with say another 200. You put your gas, all that. You might be able to pull it off at 3,000, depending on how many people, how big your house is. Now with military housing, you don't get your BAH, but You also don't pay rent. You don't pay lights. The only bills you're responsible for is cable, your phone bill, or your cell phone or house phone, how you gonna do that, and your groceries. So, put it this way. And they also give you housing based on how many children and dependents you have. So, you and your wife, your spouse get one room. If you have 3 kids, that's 1 room, 2 room, 3 room, 4. So you get a 4-bedroom house for 3 kids. A child is allowed their own room. I think military housing goes up to like a 5-bedroom housing. So you understand, like, you may get 3,000 in Jersey, but are you gonna be able to get a 5-bedroom home if you have 4 kids in Jersey? You feel what I'm saying? It's not the same scenario. There's a lot of other things that I could say, but again, remember the BH is that you also, depending on where you live, it's not gonna work out for you. Not that it can't, but it's a lot harder to like let your family, especially stay away from you that long. Now, here's a bonus to that. If your family is away from more than 30 days from you, and they're 250 miles away or more, you get paid for that. So again, be conscious. Like when you go on deployment, there's extra money. When you get into more other pros, when you go on deployment, you are in like hazardous duties areas for 1 day or more. You know what I'm saying? You get hazard duty pay, tax-free pay. So these are like a lot of pros to it. The cons, you are not yourself. Well, what Trey said his daddy told him, and all that, and Ricky and Boys in the Hood, like, yo, you're not sure you the government's like, you signed up to do a job 24/7. So again, let me say this. 24/7, 365. There are 3 jobs in the military. There's a job you want, you love. What I mean by that is, for example, if you love cooking, I enjoy cooking, so I became a cook. So let me say that. We'll go into that later on in story times, but let me say this. I figured if I gotta do a job every day, 365, let me be a cook. Let me do something I enjoy to do. Now, what I did not take into consideration was how fast do cooks move up in rank. Very important to know. Because in the Navy, you take tests to advance. Like the Army and Marine, I believe, is based on your performance. If I'm correct, the Air Force and the Navy I know for sure, to get E4 and above, you have to test. Depending on how open your branch is and how big what percentage is actually making it to the next level depends. So on you. So for example, if you're E3 going to E4 in the Navy, they can only be allowed to say 20%. So if 1,000 of y'all are taking it, 1,000 E3s are taking that test, only 20 of y'all are going to make it. Only 20% of y'all are going to make it to 200 of y'all. The actual number, just my brain, are actually going to become E4s. You know what I mean? So you have to like understand there's some ranks that like E4, E5, E6 are all 60%, 70%. It's a lot better chance of you making it. The higher you rank, the more money you make. You feel me? So I say that again to back around. If you are going to make, like I said, there's 3 jobs. There's a job you love, like I said. There's a job that makes rank. So you may pick a job that you could care less about, but it makes rank. It's 100% to E6. So you can figure you might be in the Navy 4 years, 5 years, and be E6. That's how fast money going to be growing. Now, and if you're lucky, the 3rd job is possible. You get both in one, which means that you get a job you actually like to do. You don't mind coming to work to do every day for the next 4 to 20 years, and it also has the benefit of moving up in rank fast. You know what I'm saying? If you're lucky, you'll find that. But those are just some quick pros and cons, man. Hey, man, if you find this educational at all, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.